Welcome back, gang. It's Deltia from Deltiasgaming.com. Patch 1.0.4 has hit the server. Huge news. Valby Grind has been nerfed, not into oblivion. Some other quality of life updates, and I'm here to tell you what has happened, what has changed, so you can be prepared. Let's get started. So there's 5 things that essentially happen with this patch. 1, great quality of life improvement. Module storage limit has been increased from 1,000 to 1,500, giving you a lot more module capacity. They reduced the cooldowns for Valga strategic outposts from 5 minutes to 1, but they did adjust the monster spawn times. So this will kind of nerf the Valby Grind. I did it this morning, give you my thoughts on that in a second. Void fragments will now drop when defeating monsters in special operations. The most void fragments will drop from neutralize, void, experiment, special operation. They adjusted mark for arrest item, which is in your consumables. So in the consumable tabs, it will convert 100,000, and high value target mark for arrest will convert to 1 million gold. That is absolutely massive. But the biggest issue is currently the grind in the end game. Once you get to the end game, if you're not aware, I'm talking about max Descendants. You're trying to beat all of the hard mode bosses. It's very, very expensive. Not only on shards, but gold. So for instance, my team's on the final boss in hard mode. And to beat the final boss in hard mode, Molten Fortress, you get 2 million gold as your quest reward. However, to max a Transcendent mod will cost upwards to 5 million and even 4 million at one specific level. So the rewards in the structure for gold specifically are way out of whack because you need a lot of gold to be able to beat the hard mode bosses, but how do you get the gold? Well, you have to farm for it. So this Valby Grind was what everyone was doing. It's basically running laps with Valby. In the zone recon mission in the fortress, defense line Valga strategic outpost. The reason this was so strong is Valby has damage over time and puddles. And if you scale her and build her mods right, they would instantly kill the enemies as they spawn. And Valby could stay in her 3 key, which is just basically skating around, putting down puddles indefinitely. Now, if you use 2 different Valby as your 2 different characters, you would say essentially park here, do this for 2.5 minutes, and then leave the area, come back in, it would reset, as long as you didn't kill the boss. So I went from level 1 to 40 resetting my Ajax to get a module socket in about 45 minutes using just 1 Valby. If you did it fully mid-max optimized, didn't kill the boss, and you really deleted your items quickly, you're talking about insanely fast XP leveling, also mastery ranks, because this would get your weapons leveled up as well. But the best part was the gold. You could get millions and millions and millions of gold to finally mid-max those characters and those mods you've been waiting to upgrade, especially the gold and the Transcendent mods. So this was really, really advantageous for most players just to spend an hour maybe here and there to re-level, upgrade a module socket, increase your weapons proficiency, maybe hit a new mastery rank so you could do something. And you could also set these zones to private and hard as well. So it's just awesome experience and grind. So what happened? What's the controversy? Well, posted on July 21st, Nixon released a tweet saying, "We are aware of the Valby run issue. Instead of removing it, we'll be updating other farm locations to match the efficiency equivalent to the fortress outpost." So if you clicked on the actual message that they talked about, it goes into a little bit more detail in the tweet. Valby run strategic outpost farming using Valby is currently taking place at outposts within the fortress. Was certainly not intended. Due to our systematic mistake, mobs at fortress outposts has been respawning infinitely, and as a result, the amount of item drops were 2 to 3 times the amount of other popular locations. To maintain our game and to be adored by players for a long time, we believe that it is wrong to just look on and leave the unbalanced content, which is providing bias rewards. It goes on to say a little bit more that, hey, essentially a bunch of people bought Valby because this was really advantageous for players to do, and we don't really want to take Valby's utility away. So they probably saw a boon in people buying Valby and didn't really want to forego their purchases or their time grinding that. They also said, although we insisted that no additional patch will be necessary, next week we'll be prepared a new hotfix, patch 1.04 out today, which I'm going to show you about, prioritized to apply improvements so that we could finalize the week 5 development schedule. The main purpose for patch 1.0.4 is to reduce the cooldown time for Valga strategic outposts and rebalance locations for collecting void fragments. Also, we're planning to diversify methods for gold supply by enhancing gold efficiency within special operations. So if you took a look at this initial tweet and you took a look at this initial post, you would reasonably assume that Valby Grind, those outposts would still remain the same, right? And this is where the controversy comes in. The following day, they kind of backtracked on this statement. So they said, we apologize for confusion caused by misinterpretation during the translation process of the original Korean text. There have been no reversals of decision, and our initial statement remains that we do not intend to restrict the Valby run playstyle. However, at the same time, will we update other farm locations to match the efficiency equivalent to the Valgus outpost? So we would like to inform you that we're preparing a patch without completely blocking the fortress outpost issue and to keep allowing the players to enjoy playing like before. This is the important part next. However, at the same time, we'll be updating the fortress Valgus strategic outpost to match the efficiency of other farm locations. Hence, we will be nerfing this. Then patch 1.0.4 hits around 5 this morning. Yes, I get up very early, so I'm just checking it out. And they gave a developer's comment with the adjustment to the Fortress Outpost. With this adjustment, the reward amount at Fortress Outpost has been reduced. However, to ensure the Valby Run remains a popular hunting ground like Ambush Point and Refine Run, we have set the reward efficiency slightly higher than originally intended. We hope to provide numerous farming spots in the First Descendant, each with their unique characteristics and usefulness to different Descendants. Instead of reverting Valby Run to its original design intent, we have adjusted it to similar efficiencies to other high reward hunting grounds. Okay, so you're probably going to want to know, yes, this is great controversy. What is it actually like now? So me and my buddy yesterday spent some time, since I knew this was going to come, grinding that Valby Grind specifically. And it was very, very efficient. I think I was getting about 200,000 gold doing the spot with just us two in about 2.5 minutes. And we'd have to decon our materials and so on. So you're looking at 3.5 minutes if you're answering a message per run, about 200,000 gold. Now, this morning I did it just by myself and I got 57,000. Now, this is not going to be an apples to apples comparison because my Valby's not mid-max like my buddy Cerberus, and I was a bit slower than doing it and we didn't have 2 people. So what I'm guesstimating here is it's probably about half as effective. The enemies still spawn pretty frequently, and it felt like you would still get a really good amount of XP and leveling. You could really feel the gold difference though. However, I will say it wasn't completely useless or not worth doing the grind because it's so simple to have one Valby with reduced cooldowns and durations just sit there and zip around the area nuking things. In my opinion, since you're watching my YouTube video, I think this was a fair adjustment. My math might not be 100% accurate, but it did feel like about half the gold. Still really valuable XP, still worth running Valby in the specific spot. So ultimately, it wasn't the ideal way to present the information and have to backtrack on it. I do think the studio did their best to make it so it's not an exploit where people can just get an infinite amount of gold, max out the game, move on to the next thing. Now, next week, they did foreshadow what's coming. They're going to do some rebalancing with AoE skills, which is actually quite fascinating from this post. So they're going to adjust Valby, Blair, and Freyna AoE skills. We hope to see these Descendant more officially dominate the battlefield, creating larger AoE zones and leisure watching enemies fall from the rear. So those will be big adjustments. Can't wait to see that. So Ultimate Valby is going to get some changes in module. She's coming next week along with the new Descendant Luna. So we're going to have 2 different Descendants to play with. Hopefully Ultimate Valby will be a little bit better with these new modifications for bosses. So you would see her being used more at endgame than just grinding, similar to Bunny. And you're also going to get a new ultimate weapon, Peace Mediator. It's a powerful hand cannon in single shot. There's a new ultimate module that's going to come out, which is going to increase defense and mentality when using skills, but decrease movement speed and attack power. So it's going to be useful for Luna and Ajax. Also, we're going to get some weapon readjustments as well. There will be adjustments to ultimate weapons like enhanced critical chance and damage, enduring legacy machine gun, secret guard, and tactical rifle. Nastra's devotion hand cannon will improve to boost more powerful firepower with critical settings. Greg's reverse fate tactical rifle will be adjusted for its unique effect to have more chances of landing. So we should see some of those endgame ultimate weapons get a boost. We're going to get a couple new things to play with and some new rebalancing AoE skills. So that way you don't have to grind with just Valby or you don't have to grind with just Bunny. Looks like that's coming next week, August 1st, if everything goes as planned as part of their big update. So if you're still watching this, which probably 5 of you are, here's some tips to help you with grinding. When you're doing the grinds, make sure that you max out your external components and save some of those that are really rare, like these gold ones. So this auxiliary power here has a shard drop rate increase. It's gold. That's a really useful one. We have character XP gain modifier, gold rate increase, and item acquisition distance increase modifier. This is helpful because you don't have to skate around right and left. It will just pick up almost everything for you. So if you don't need the combat power, just make sure you're saving these specifically. Another useful thing to do is you're going to get a gazillion bazillion reactors. So in my opinion, I would do ultimate, tier, and lower on reactors. If there's a spot you're farming specifically for a gold mid-max reactor, then obviously you're going to check out each individual one. Otherwise, you can just set this, hit shift, and it marks all of those gold reactors that you're probably not going to use anyways, and you can mass delete it. Well, gang, that's a video. Hope you got something out of this. The Valby Grind still worth doing. There's going to be some other ones we're going to find throughout the week, probably, that will be new and better. They did the best to address the issue, maybe a little miscommunication, but we got to give them a chance. Everyone makes a mistake. I still really enjoy the game, love playing it every day, and I don't mind an hour grind here or there because, let's be honest, games nowadays, whether they're looter shooters, RPGs, or MMOs, have their specific grinds in them. It just comes down to, do you like the game? Is it fun to play? Are these grinds, repetitive 1 hour things that you have to do, enjoyable? Sitting in Discord, yucking it up with your buddies, having a good time, that's what it's about. If you got something out of this, leave a comment, like, subscribe, and we will see you next time. Thanks for watching.